before I really start and I get into this, I just want to say that I think I've discovered what my weekends are going to be used for and how I'm going to be creating content in that way. Yes, the gym videos are coming soon. I promise. I'm just trying to get a mic going. But let's get into it. Things that I did that helped me accelerate my fat loss. Yes, it's still in progress. I've lost 70 pounds within probably a whole year. The first thing, and I think one of the most important things to me, was tracking my calories. And let me dive into this a little bit. You don't necessarily have to track them all the time and be like super on it. Yes, it helps when you're really trying to get in that cut and you've lost a lot of weight, so like the calories really do matter. But when you're just starting out, trying to find similar foods or anything that's generic, you're gonna get pretty close. Just pay attention to your portion sizes when you're putting them in anything. Personally, I use My Net Diary. I just like it a lot better, more than MyFitnessPal. I don't really care for that one at all, but it works, and stay with it. Use it until you are really good at figuring out your portion sizes and everything, because I promise you, you'll make a lot of mistakes in trying to figure out what your portions are for anything. It's the hardest thing to track. It's impossible. You really don't know the weight on that. I would honestly say focus on your weeks. If your weekends you kind of want to let loose a little bit, totally go for it. Eventually you're probably going to be tracking everything every day. It's just a consistency habit, which brings me into my second point. Stay consistent. When you're starting, try to just go 1 month consistent, no cheat meals. You can do this by going and taking a weekend or whatever you have for your day off and just plan out your lunches. Stay consistent with what you're eating. You don't have to eat the same thing every day, but it does help. I personally just went with every week I get a bunch of ground beef and I get a bunch of vegetables, and that's my lunch every day. It doesn't get boring to me, because if I choose to eat breakfast, that's a little different. If I choose to eat dinner, there's different things I kind of do, but I try to prioritize all my foods around whole single ingredient foods. For example, I'll do, like, for dinner, if I'm really not feeling like cooking anything extravagant, it's literally just eggs. It's that simple. Go with what's easy to track. You can get into the heavier stuff later, but at that point you're going to need a scale and you're going to have to weigh out some of your stuff. Which leads me to my third tip: get a scale. Again, measure everything. It's really important, especially when you're guessing at your portion sizes after you've gotten into your weight loss journey a little bit more. It's super important. I can't prioritize enough on saying your nutrition does matter. Yes, getting active and kind of staying at what you're doing, you're gonna lose weight initially, absolutely, but you are gonna start to plateau, and you're not just gonna be able to eat what you feel like eating all the time. It's a hard thing to start, but once you get into it, it's not that bad. Honestly, I just want to reiterate this. Once you kind of get farther into the process of tracking your calories and getting used to eating good whole foods, you'll notice you don't feel as great the next day after eating a bunch of sugary foods or a bunch of just crap in your mouth. I've definitely noticed that especially over the last couple months. For example, I went and I had a cheat day, and then I went to the gym the next day and I felt awful. My body was trying to use terrible sugars and burning that up super fast, to the point where once I got on that treadmill for 5 minutes, I felt awful. Just so out of energy, tired, ready to like throw up. But when I eat healthy and have whole balanced meals throughout the day, I feel more energetic, and just I'm able to push a little bit harder. And then I have a couple more tips, but I just want to take a second. Like the video if you think these are helpful. Another one that I have is lifting. You can do cardio all you want. I'm not somebody who started off cardio. I originally started with lifting. I think it's more important. I think this is what I thought about when I first did it. After kind of learning and taking some time to just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, I noticed that a lot of the main things were, if you gain more muscle, you can eat more. Your body is heavier, therefore every single task throughout the day, your body's working harder to move. The harder your body works to move and the more you weigh, the more calories you're going to burn throughout the day. It's just thermodynamics at that point. So I highly recommend you start with weightlifting because to me, cardio is boring. I hate it. I'll still do it, but it's not my go-to. It's my main gym session is focused on lifting, and then I'll do 10 to 20 minutes on a stationary bike or treadmill. It's not that hard once you get into it. I promise. You can simplify it and start with low weight because your body is going to grow so fast when you first start. It's what people call the beginner gains. You actually have the potential, and there was a study about this, you have the potential to, if you focus on your nutrition and you focus on prioritizing rest, recover, and weightlifting, you have the potential to gain up to 30 pounds worth of muscle. And no, it's not going to look like fat. You're actually going to end up looking better than what you think. So if you have time, I would definitely sit down and focus on workout plans and doing what you can. But it's not that hard. You really don't need the plans when you first start. If you're going to go in, I try to do 7 days a week. It doesn't happen all the time just due to recovery, but my first thing, I just went in and I just hit biceps. I did what I liked, and then now I'm kind of into the harder stuff. The workouts that maybe I don't like, but I know they're just as beneficial, and I go to challenge myself every day. But if you have a hard time going into the gym, I highly recommend just hitting a muscle group that you like. Now, don't do that too much. Don't just hit biceps. I actually made a mistake a year into my weight loss journey when I was in high school. I constantly hit biceps, like arms. And what ended up happening was I ended up creating a lot of shoulder pain. Due to a muscle imbalance. My arms were literally too heavy for my upper back to support. So just make sure you balance it out a little bit. Hit shoulders, hit back, hit arms, just do whatever. Learn as you go. And honestly, in between rest sets, just kind of watch what other people are doing. It gives you a good idea. There's plenty of YouTubers that you can watch. I highly recommend Sam Sulek. He has a very good technique into how to kind of do your maximizing and everything and really burn yourself out when you're doing it. I think he's probably one of the more efficient weightlifters. He goes in for a simple objective, get the pump and get out. That's all you have to do. I'm just going to say, through this journey, you're going to find very fast that your nutrition matters a lot. Personally, I track macros more than I track calories. So my goal, and I don't hit this every day, so don't feel like you have to hit your goal every single day, but I hit about 260 grams of protein almost every day. It's just easier to go like that. That's my main priority. Yes, I'll cut it short if I've already hit my calories for the day. But I just prioritize my macros more than anything else. And it also kind of teaches you a little bit. Also, My Nut Diary is really good because it kind of tells you what you could be cutting back on. If you're eating out a lot, it will notice how much sodium you're intaking as long as you're tracking clear and concise. So take that and try to do that. You're gonna feel better the better that you eat, truthfully. And that's just how it is. Gosh, yeah, I think I'm at 6 or 7 tips. I'm gonna try to make this a regular little series. This is only an 8-minute video. This isn't very long. Just sit down, watch it, watch these videos. I think it's gonna help you a lot, just like it's helped me a lot. There's more, and I promise I will be writing them down, and I will start making shorts for this. But until then, later.